Hi everyone, welcome to the channel for new battle reports. So I participated to, or I am better said, participating at the time at a French team tournament just to get some more games. And I thought it's the occasion also to try out some more Infernal Dwarves list. First round I was paired in a mirror match, so first time that I played the mirror match in ID, so quite interesting to see how that goes. My list for the tournament will be the following, so I kept most of the things that you saw already in the previous battle reports. The pair of Seat of Authority, Ashuruk, General of Occultism together with Lamassu Scholar. I kept the Overlord in the list. Then I have a Vizier with the Breast of the Brass Bull. The 2 core units plus a unit of Vassal and unit of Slaves. Then I have big block of Incarnate, Small Anointed, the Bastion and the Kadim Titan. My opponent was playing the following list, so it also had the Boot of Shamut Overlord, but with a slightly different build, as you can see. So slightly less effective than mine in close combat in a 1-1 challenge. But he has some other tools. For example, I have the Bull that provides some shooting. Then he has Malster Alchemy, where I have Occultism. Then he has a small Occultist Mage. Another Bull, which is the Vizier BSB. Then the unit with the Bastion. And he went for a full Vassal course setting, so a lot of scorings. 40 Vassal, 20 Vassal, 20 Vassal. A unit of Disciples of Lugar with Ped Weapon. A unit of Disciples of Lugar with Great Weapon. And then the Kadim Titan and Bastion. We were playing the new secondary objective Breaking Flags, which is a combination of breakthrough and capture the flags. So both can score without any cap. And you see below spell selection, my opponent gave me the additional spell for this game. Obviously, I expect a lot from Occultism in this match. So matchup analysis, like I said, Occultism and I think also the Overlord, my slightly different build, give me an edge on the matchup. Careful about Dangerous Lugar. I think when it comes to 3-up ward save fights, I think that's what makes the ID mirror match not the most exciting one. It's the 3-up ward save that both unit have sometimes, all the flaming attack unit. So basically the high volume of attack matters in a 3+ ward save fight. That's my feeling. So let's be careful about the Lugars. Secondary, it shouldn't be too hard for me to get the flag. I think that's going to be my prime target, but at the same time I'm also going to try to use the triangle strategy to put in my strong zone scoring unit that I can break through. So basically a hard focus on the secondary objective. That's going to be my main game plan. And I think it's going to be a KG game if no one wants to take risk, and we will see how that goes. But it could be KG if I can focus on the secondary and take some points, could bring me to a small to medium win, which would be okay according to our pairing. I put in the matrix 12 as a matchup estimation. So deployment wise, we went as the following. I won the roll for side, so I think here the main reasoning is gave him the ruin in his strong zone to make it harder for him to march through, gave him an impassable that could be annoying, then have myself the field and mainly deny his Lugar the ability to go in the field. I think that's going to be key. Heal also useful, and I think that's about it. Obviously my opponent decided to drop for first turn, which makes sense. I would have done the same. He dropped the following: the Small Mage, Kadim Titan, Big Vassal unit, Small Lugar with Great Weapon, the Bastion unit. He has the BSB, he has the Overlord, he has the unit of Vassal, then he has the Vassal with Bow and the Alchemy Mage, and on the far right he has the big unit of Lugar with Paired Weapon. On my side, I went with 2 scoring units in the strong flank. As you can see, there is nothing here. So I just have to be aware of the Kadim Titan, but that should be an easy way to the breakthrough zone for these 2 units. So Anointed plus Vassals. Then I have the big unit of Incarnate facing the Titan. Like I said, the number of attacks could matter. So I have the feeling that in this fight, I have an advantage with the Incarnate. Then the block of warriors, usually next to the Bastion. Then we have the slaves with Overlord, Lamassu, and my Kadim Titan. So all the 3 flexible pieces in the strong triangle and the scoring unit in my strong part of the map. As you can see, if you draw kind of a straight line here, you see that from the Titan, I have all my scoring to the left, trying to create a strong flank where I can easily break through while at the same time I have some strong single pieces to try to get one of his flags. So definitely following the game plan here. His turn 1, he pushed slightly forward, but as you can see, not much in the middle, bottom part of the map. He pushed a little bit, but still needs to be aware that my Titan was covering all the angles, so he doesn't want to give me any easy charge, which could be very dangerous for him. So we respect the Titan, so I'm achieving what I wanted from the Titan. And important to note, he respected the bastion distance, so he wanted me to break the distance between both bastion before he can shoot, or somebody or some of us any one of us basically can shoot. So if I enter in the zone, then he will be the one able to shoot. That's his strategy, which for me doesn't matter that much because I have occultism. I should do more wounds than him on his bastion, so I'm going to try to break the distance. Doesn't really matter that he stays out of it, but I see what he wants to do. On his turn 1, he forces a breast weapon on the vassal champion and kill 3 of my Infernal warrior, and he also got an hereditary on my Kadim Titan. My turn 1, push forward. As you can see, I really try to be aggressive, leaving him with long middle charges, with me having counter charge set up in place. Yeah, I just left him no easy double charge basically, so I want him to commit alone, and then if he does so, I could easily counter charge with another piece. So that's the idea of the strong flank. And then here I'm turning around, looking at his units, enter in the 18-inch zone that interests me to get some wounds on his bastion. And let's move on to magic. As you can see also, I decided not to commit the Overlord here because I don't want him to shoot me with Eye of the Bull too soon. So basically I'm keeping a safe distance at the moment and let him shoot at the Titan, which shouldn't do too much. In my turn 1, I get a breast weapon, and then also I was within 12 with the vassal, so I took all my shooting on the vassals and I killed 9, which is 1/4 of the unit, which is not bad as a start to make the future fights potentially easier. His turn 2, I decide to engage with the bastion and get within 12 of me, so it's going to be interesting. He pushes with a lot of units around to basically guarantee him to have a counter charge. So if I take a charge into the bastion, it's going to be steadfast, and I have the Overlord as a counter charger, the Lugars as a counter charger. Also, these Lugars are not too far, so basically plenty of units that can do stuff. The BSB stays in the back, and he is move a bit sideways with the mage. In the magic phase, I binding scroll the stone skin because not stone skin, sorry, the silver spike, the silver spike on my Overlord, because I don't want to have to defend that. It's very dangerous if I take some wounds now. So I decided to stop this spell, and then it allows me also I think the calculation is I didn't want to take too much casualties from his shooting and magic. So if he gets a breast weapon that do too much, and then the shooting that does much, it was going to be dangerous. So I really wanted to stop hereditary, and since he has no +1 to cast, I elected to keep all my dice to stop this spell, and instead binding scroll the silver spike. Basically that was the idea of my binding scroll use. I got hereditary on the Kadim Titan and +1 armor save on the bastion on 1 dice, bit lucky. His bastion does 2 wounds on my bastion, which is okay. It's between 1 and 2 wounds on average because only hitting on 6+. And Eye of the Bull did 1 wound to my Kadim Titan. My turn 2. So now I'm moving sideways. Here's the Overlord. Here's the Lamassu. So the Overlord is basically trying to apply some pressure on the flank. I'm within 12 with my bastion, so starting also to do wounds here. Here keeping safe distance. So basically if he charge, I have a counter charge or mult. Anywhere, if he charge Titan here, counter charge here. If he charge here, it's those guys that can counter charge. So basically making sure that he has no easy way to engage. And since the vassal reduced a bit, they are not anymore a big threat. But I reformed those guys to have enough ranks in case he takes a double charge. I would be still steadfast. In my magic phase, I got Gravecold, kill 4 Infernal Warriors, then Breast Weapon, kill another 3. So this was really good. And the Bastion did 0 wound to his unit. Okay, let's move on to his turn 3. He pushes with the Lugar to chaff Titan. He plays the Overlord and the BSB behind. Those guys are the vassals. Move a bit forward with the Archer. He stays more or less in range with the Bastion, try to do some wounds. The Lugar pushes a bit more, and he stays really compact on the north part. I forgot to mention, but all the time I'm being patient with those guys for one and only one reason, is I don't want to allow him to move out of arc, and also don't want to allow him to chaff me easily. So I always watch what his chaff can do, and also watch where his Kadim can go, because if he moves out of arc and can threaten my scoring unit, it could be hugely problematic for the secondary objective. So basically that's why the Incarnate are like moderate in their way to be aggressive. As you can see, it's quite cagey, but we are still quite close from each other, which is funny. And in his magic phase, he Quicksilver Lash my Overlord, but thanks to the Basalt Infusion did no wounds. Then the Breast Weapon killed one of my Bastion guy. And his Bastion did another wound. I think did one wound to the Kadim Titan this time. Or maybe it's the Arc, but something did a wound to the Titan. I don't know where he shoot with his Bastion. My turn 3. That's the wounds. What's that? That's the wound from the Archer on the Kadim Titan without moving. So now I see that he moves, so it's even less than that. So it's not so likely that he does a wound with the Archer, but he continues to put me Flaming Token, which is kind of funny. My turn 3. So I activate multiple charges, 1 charges actually, which is the Overlord into his vassals, which is forced to flee, because as you can see from the situation here, it's likely that he couldn't be, he has no counter charge because it's the front, so nothing sees me. Most likely I would free myself in 2 turns, which is hugely problematic. And if I go through in 1 turn, it breaks from combat, I overrun into the BSB with no counter charge. So it's not acceptable for him, which is he's forced to flee. So he flees with the vassals in the back, which allows me to redirect my charge into the Lugars, which was the plan, to block the Lugars basically. And I back off with the Titan ready to counter charge. I use my slave to double chaff the Bastion and the Lugard. I think here the main purpose is not really to chaff, is basically give me a turn of shooting from my Bastion against his Lugard, while his Bastion cannot be within 12 of my Bastion. One thing that I forgot about that is due to the formation of my slaves, I'm just within 12 of the back rank, but if I sacrifice some, I wouldn't be anymore. And I'm going to forget that. So, very stupid. I was within 12, so everything was well measured, but I forgot about that when I did the sacrifice in Magic. As you can see, it remains cagey on the top. I'm already breakthrough, so it's okay for me. I place Lamassu on the hill. In Magic phase, I got the Breast Weapon, kill 4 Lugars, then the Bastion, kill another 5. And with a Grave Call, I think I Grave Call into his Bastion and killed 3. So I did some good wounds. Here, I kill the champion, he passes steadfast check, rerollable, no problem at all. And on his turn, I'm going to be lucky because, as you can see, I sacrifice in a spell, I think it was the Grave Call or the Breath, I sacrifice some wounds. And basically, I wasn't within 12 of the general anymore, and I'm too far from the Overlord, so it's a bit stupid. Therefore, I had to take a shaky leadership for a rollable check that I pass. If I wouldn't, he had the redirect check to then charge here in the flank on a 7 or 8. Not an easy charge, but if he does that, would be a problem for me. So I wasn't too happy about that, should have paid more attention. So he charged here, I stay. Here we're stuck in combat, so he placed BSB and Overlord ready to create something. So if basically you need to take into consideration that the Titan could charge here next round, and if I do so, it doesn't want any overrun. But if the Overlord pursues, I get into the BSB and he can counter charge me with his Overlord, which we'll see if it's a good idea or not. I rally those guys. Here we're in combat. Here those guys suffer many wounds, so they just move slightly back. And here it just continuing to move back because I'm slowly but surely moving slightly forward. In his magic phase, he failed the Breast Weapon. This time I dispel the Silver Spike and close combat. He popped my slave and I do 4 wounds to the Lugars, so we still in combat. He passes the 9 rollable check. My turn 4, I charge with the Titan onto this combat, so the idea is just need to kill 5 to most likely break him, and then I could pursue with the Overlord, get a scoring unit, get into his BSB, and I have Kingslayer, so I'm feeling okay in this combat. Move forward with the Bastion to shoot more. What else? Reform 8 wide because he's moving back, so it's not anymore a big threat. Moving a bit forward, but not too much, as you can see. Could have potentially, at some point, tried to send the Lamassu in a long charge here to create something, because I was thinking when I saw the images, if I take the charge into the vassals, what happens? He can counter charge me with the Titan, maybe he kills my Lamasu, but then I can counter charge and finish him. So it opens the game, and if I charge with the breast weapon, I can stick him easily. So then he's stuck. Maybe it allows me to push more with the warriors. So I think I should have considered that rerollable charge that was maybe 10, 11 Swift Ride rerollable. If I fail, nothing happened. So I think I should have tried that here. Magic Phase, I get +1 armor save on my Overlord, anticipating the upcoming combat. And I also got reroll 2 wound on the Lugars. I want to be sure that I break them, basically. It would be too dangerous for me. Not the end of the world, but most likely too dangerous to be stuck in combat and get counter charge. I don't know. It's a good question. He can basically has the Bastion, the BSB can go in, the Overlord here. I felt it could be too much. Even the Lugars can also come to the flank. I didn't want that, so my idea was to break him. He gets, what did he get? Yeah, that's mine. Bastion, I kill 2 of his guy in the Bastion unit. And I kill exactly 5, so it's a break check on a 6. He break, I pursue with my Overlord, impact into his BSB, the Arcane Titan, Restrain and Reform. He's turn 5. So I felt here I'm in a good shape, because as you can see, the Bastion has only 10 guys left, so they won't do much. He's depleted in the center, the Lugars are fleeing away, the second unit is dead, so I took a flag, so I'm at strong advantage. I still have 5 wounds left on the Titan. Here it's a shaky combat, but I buff slightly myself. I mean, my Overlord with Kingslayer could survive and could do stuff. And then my Canim Titan, I mean, has some very good charges that he can take. I can go here, I can go into Bastion. I have plenty of stuff I can do. So I felt at this point of time really good, and the top part of the map still an ability to push slightly, but it still remains really cagey. I don't know, maybe I didn't take enough risk with this unit to create something. But being breaking flag, I felt let's try to play quite conservative. I was aware that it could turn badly if he gets some good combos at some point. So let's be patient. In the Magic Phase, he got Silver Spike on my Cadim Titan, and unfortunately for me, rolled really heavily. Rolled the max wound, so I think I have a stat, it's like 11% chance, 3 wounds, so that's the max. Which means that my Titan is already nearly death. I kept all my dice for one thing, is to stop the +1 armor save on the Overlords, thinking it could give me an edge into the close combat. But with 3 dice against my 5 dice to add salt on the wound, he got that through. So basically he got the Silver Spike, 3 wounds, and he got the +1 armor save on 3 dice against 5. So yeah, very unfortunate Magic Phase, which hurts. Shooting, he did another wound to the Titan, which is still alive. One mistake that he did is that his Bastion is within 7 of the Titan, so no stand and shoot, which is interesting for me. Close combat, 0 to 0. So yeah, that's the stat of the Silver Spike here on top. So yeah, not so likely, but that happened. And here, the problem that I had, I don't know why, for some reason, it's the first time that with Kingslayer, I'm in a combat with 2 models at the same time, 2 characters, and I solve it as 5 attack strength 7 instead of 6 attack strength 8. So on the left, it's the graph with the 5 attack strength 7, which is that, and here on the right is the 6 attack strength 8, which is way better. As you can see, it's 2 wounds on average. So it's way better than the one on the left. On his side, it's basically a 50-50. So he has this automatic hit, strength 5, reroll with the Luga dice. And then I have a ward save, and if he goes through, it's 2 wounds. If he doesn't, it's 0 wound. And then the bull, it's more or less that for both of us. So basically not likely to do much with the Basalt Infusion and the Divine Attack. But yeah, basically a bit disappointed that I forgot about that, because that should have given me the edge on the Overlord combat. But at least I stuck the test on 8. So I wasn't too punished for that. My turn 5 took multiple charges. My Titan charged into his Bastion, which he elected to flee, which makes sense. Going to be a shaky 9 non-rollable check. And I had a charge on a 9 Swift Ride onto those guys. I felt it's an interesting charge because he's out of bubble, not many attack to do a wound. He has a fear check, he has then a steadfast check. On 8, no reroll, 8, no reroll. The terror check was already 8, no reroll. If he flees that one, 9, no reroll, sorry, but it's going to end up here. I mean, yeah, very annoying for him. So I felt, let's try this one, because charging the Luga, I could easily flee that way. So I felt, let's charge those guys, but I failed the charge. So basically I end up with a failed charge. Here we're stuck in combat. I elected against, I debated whether or not I should commit my Bastion south, but I was just afraid that if things turn really bad, meaning my overlords get killed, those two guys get free, if they double charge into the Bastion, I felt it's way too dangerous for me. So I elected against that move, and I felt even with the Titan dying, I mean, I have the edge due to the secondary objective and the points that I could potentially take. I mean, here a lot of points. Here I could finish that potentially. Here there are some points. So let's try to buff that combat and we'll see what I can do. I prepared the Lamassu for late charge, but I waited too much. My magic phase, I tried to go +1 armor save on 3 dice, but he dispelled with 3 dice as well. Then I got -1 weapon skill on his bull and also got some attribute. I think I got a breast weapon, but non-boosted to get just the attribute to get reroll to wound in close combat. Close combat, again, we do 0 to 0, which is another 8 non-rollable for me check, which I pass fortunately for me. That's my stat, I think. I think that's the stat, but with the 5 attacks, maybe it's the 6 attack strength 8, no hatred, or 5 attack strength 7. I don't recall. If I check with before, 38, 29... Yeah, I think that's the 6 attack strength 8 non-hatred, just to see what it would have done. I think so. If I would have played correctly. His turn 6, not much happened. He backs away. He rallied the Bastion on 9 non-reroll. Here we're still stuck in combat. Magic phase. He got I dispel +1 armor save. He got big H in close combat on the shooting. He went a bit, for me, a bit risky because he elected not to cast Silver Spike, just to do the 20 shots on 4+, 6+, and finish the Titan, which is worth a lot of points. Unfortunately for me, shooting phase, he did exactly the wound that he needed to do. So yeah, that happened. I mean, it was not so likely, but that's how it is. Here again, we do 0 to 0. I recall in 3 rounds of combat, he passes 6 over sticks, ward save, so yeah, not much I can do. My turn 6, a charge with Lamassu just to force steadfast non-rollable, move forward to buff the combat. I get +1 armor save. Breast weapon, we both roll a 16, so he dispelled that. And then it passes some other ward save, but I'm going to fail. I think this time he does 2 wounds to me with his attack, Eye of the Bull. I do nothing to him, but I pass the check rollable. I think so, because it was the BSB and a flank and 2 wounds. So I had the 6 rollable. Either that or he did no wounds, and I pass 8, and I fail 8 rollable. Either or, he took half points here. Here I force him a steadfast check, but he passes it, and that's it. So unfortunately it reduced a bit the points because he took half the Overlord and the Titan full towards the end of the game. He took obviously the Slave, and I took only 1 unit of Lugars because he managed to rally the Vassals, the Bastion, so I didn't took much. The other unit of Lugar had 6 guys alive, so I didn't take that much, and it's just an 11-9 instead of a 12-8 or more. So yeah, that's how it is. Would have liked to start the game, but it wasn't a big issue for me to play second. I think I had enough of an edge in the matchup. I focused myself on the secondary with no unnecessary risk taken. We ended up capping the round, so no need for me to take unnecessary risk in this matchup that could be dangerous and a bit, just dicey. Nobody managed to really push. On his turn 5, key range damage on the Titan. I mean, those 4 wounds matters a lot because the Titan, like I said, had still a lot to do. He could have eaten the Bastion, could have done a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but that's how it is. Turn 6, I lost 2 points. Maybe I could have slightly pushed more. Like I said, the Infernal Warrior in the middle, some stuff I could have pushed a bit more. Occultism as usually shine in this game, and the ID mirror I think isn't the funniest one because of loss of 3+ ward save. Doesn't make you want to fight too much, and feeling a bit unlucky point wise, but like I said, didn't matter much since we capped the round. Guys, thanks a lot for watching the battle report, and talk to you soon for another one. Bye bye.